A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... he landed in the divine dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
Welcome into Turn 200's coverage of the Venom Truck Series, Season 9, Round 9, and we're here in the former home of Matt Williamson, Nashville Super Speedway, here in Lebanon, Tennessee. What would Dolly do at 166 here? Southwest? West of Dolly World. Not even anywhere close in Tennessee. But we're here at Nashville Super Speedway, a divisive track, and certainly going to be a chaotic track here tonight. Tommy Cook, as always, Matt Williamson alongside, and we got a special guest here this evening from Down Under. Good morning to the Aussie himself, Mr. Leo Smith, joining us in booth 200. We'll start with you since you're not here week in and week out in the booth. Welcome, and how are you?
Hey, g'day, fellas. Doing pretty good. A week off, as I said, insert coin. The doctor wouldn't clear me to race tonight, so I thought, well, I'll come down and annoy you all and watch this race unfold. Hopefully it's going to be an interesting one.
I certainly think it is going to be an interesting one, and we'll welcome in Mr. Matt Williamson, the former...
Yeah, always good to be back here at the Nashville Super Speedway in Lebanon, Tennessee. It's, I think, most of the time that we have had races here on the channel here, it's usually been in the daylight. I think having a night race here is going to bring a whole nother dimension to this, and we got a lot of drivers that are going to do very well at this track. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I don't think we've run a night race here other than the Daredevil series, and that is not at all what we're doing here tonight. Let's quickly take a look at the point standings. We talked about things getting a little bit spread out the last couple of weeks. Right at the halfway point of the regular season, boy, things tightened up in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean, we're halfway through the regular season now, basically, and I think this is the closest it's been at the halfway point that I can remember. Matt Schlosser is atop the points. Remember, it was the Daytona Road Course was the last race that we ran. Chad Stearns sits there in second. Schlosser and Stearns have been atop the points, flip-flopping the lead back and forth. Luke Peterson is in there in third, and Zach Lockett, who has a chance to take home the in-season tournament tonight, he sits there in fourth. John Kay rounds out your top five. Hayden Palumbo, Josh Freed, Brantley Gainey, Brody Gunter, and Jan Van Leer are in your top 10, although Brody Gunter's not here tonight, so something is definitely going to change there. Josh Monacek and Andy Poliski are at 11th and 12th, just 2 and 5 points off the cut line. And then Kyle Zittel, Tyler Logan, Rodney Matney, still not far behind, but they have far more work to do.
Yeah, Zittel, of course, missing last week. Brody Gunter finally gets himself above the cut line, is going to miss tonight, and that also plays into the Car Inside in-season tournament finale. He was originally scheduled to compete for that championship after the win last week at Daytona. That is no longer the case. We're going Monster Jam rules. Whenever the winning driver can't make it to the next round of the bracket, the losing driver gets that spot. It just so happens that is Leo's teammate, Mr. Cole Maxwell. I know you were keeping a close eye on Cole during practice, Leo. What do you make of his chances here this evening?
Mate, I think if it stays green, I think Cole's in with a pretty good chance. They're a different style of driving line, but he was pretty consistent. So as long as it stays green, I think he's going to be at the pointy end.
And it's interesting. We always talk about Cole a little bit more and a little bit more whenever we get to these kind of mid-range intermediate tracks. He's good on the bigger short tracks and the smaller intermediate tracks. That's exactly where we are here tonight. But as Matt is going to tell us here after we get to the starting grid, there's nothing easy about this event here tonight. Lockett v. Maxwell for the Car Inside in-season tournament championship, the very first one ever in the Venom Truck Series. And it's round number 9 of the season here. It's the What Would Dolly Do 166 at Nashville Super Speedway, and congratulations to Jeremy McKinnon back in the field here tonight. He will take his second career pole with the Venom Truck Series, his first of the season. Preach Luke Peterson, looking for a strong run here. Got a top 5 finish here last season. We'll start on the outside of the front row. Chad Stearns, a runner-up finisher here from a couple of seasons back. He will start in third. Next to podium finisher from last week, finally broke that big 0 streak for top 10 finishes. Andy Poliski, the season 5 champ, starting in fourth. Reigning series champion, former runner-up finisher here, John Kay, starts in 5th. Next to your current series points leader, Matt Schlosser, in 6th. Hayden Palumbo needs a big bounce back here tonight after a lap 1 exit. He will start in 7th with Eric Breeding to his outside. Tyler Logan and Jan Van Leer round out the top 10. Austin Holyfield back tonight, starting in 11th. It is P12 start for Brantley Gainey, Rodney Matney, and Cole Maxwell, one of your tournament contenders, starting in 14th. Row number 8 is Joshua Monacek on the inside, Josh Freed on the outside. It is the rest of the top 20, Kevin Sargent, Josh Jackson, Zach Lockett back there in P19, and Kyle Zittel always struts into NSS with some confidence, but he will have to do it all the way back from 20th. 27 drivers here tonight. You'll see Leo Smith on the starting lineup, but he is up here in the booth with us here this evening, so 27 is what we're going to roll off pit road here, as Matt has the inside information that we need ahead of 125 laps here this evening.
Yeah, we are looking at a night race here from Lebanon, Tennessee. 69 degrees is the ambient temperature with a track temperature of only 71. That's very, very cool. The tires are going to be very cold. Drivers going to have to be extremely careful on this opening lap and really the first couple of opening laps here as they get rolling along. We have 125 laps around the Nashville Super Speedway here tonight. 3 sets of tires, no fast repairs. The pit window for fuel is about 70 laps or so, but this track being the largest concrete track in NASCAR, it eats up tires in a hurry. So I think we're just going to split this race into thirds more than likely. We average 4 cautions and 8 lead changes per race here at Nashville Superspeedway, and we're guaranteed a new winner here tonight.
Absolutely. No Kevin Biggs, no Nathan Reynolds, no Hunter Engrav. We'll have a first-time winner here at Nashville Superspeedway, racing for the guitar here in Lebanon. We're underway. McKinnon with a clean getaway, looking to go one better than where he finished last season. Stearns up to second. John Kay loose just a bit there, but will sneak third away as Luke Peterson will drop to fourth. Now maybe looking to drop back to fifth. Here's Schlosser to the inside. Big run here for Chad Stearns as well. He may be looking to take the top spot as they head across the stripe. McKinnon has it at the line, but Stearns with the preferred positioning here into turn number 1. Still very eggshelly here. We are really being careful on cold tires and a cold track.
Schlosser and Peterson really close together there on entry into turn number 3. I'm really interested to see how this race is going to develop under these types of conditions. I haven't really seen a night race here with the cool track temperatures, so drivers should be able to keep the tires underneath of them for a little bit longer, but once they start to go, they dive off in a hurry.
Leo, you've had some early race misfortunes here this season. I mean, especially in weird conditions like this. I mean, this has got to be a stressful situation for a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, I think it's, as I said, I think it's going to be a very strategic race. I think they can look after the tyres. As I said, if she stays green, I think it's going to be, the pointy end's going to be very different tonight than what you normally look at.
And you got to strategize, but you got to survive to get to your strategy first. And so far, so good. I think Leo and I were talking earlier about maybe there be an early race big one, a big pileup. So far, so good. Lap number 5 is on the board. We did have a big pileup here at lap number 2 a couple of seasons ago. It took out a huge chunk of the front of the field, let alone the back.
Well, we do have a spin. He's gone back. Hey, Garrett.
Garrett Rainey. Man, Garrett Rainey had cracked the top 20. He's got a podium finish here in Truck 200. Best finish inside the top 10 here in the Venom Truck Series, though. But we were looking out for Garrett Rainey here tonight. Hopefully Rainey's not too banged up. He will drop all the way down to 26. Pascal Samard got onto the grid late after a server disconnect. We're battling side by side for second. It's Kay and Stearns going at it.
I think you're going to see John Kay dive into turn 1 here. That is one of the characteristics about this racetrack, especially on fresher tires. You can really dive it hard into turn number 3 as, boy, Kay did not give Stearns much room to operate there out of 4.
We've had 8 races and 8 different winners. Something tells me we're breaking that streak here tonight because the top 6 drivers have all won a race here already this season. And 5 of them are nose to tail down the backstretch.
I mean, it was going to happen eventually.
That didn't have to. We could go 20 for 20. Why not? Ooh, Peterson and Schlosser find their way back into line. Boy, this is close quarter operations here. You don't normally see it this early into, or this late into a run, rather, just 8 laps in. These guys can't get away from each other.
Yeah, I think they're really scrapping for positions right now because once the tires start to fade, it is very difficult to make passes here at this racetrack. So I think these guys are trying to get as much track position as possible so when those tires start to fade off on them, they have the advantage.
Colombo ahead of Matt Schlosser as we welcome in everybody that's hanging out with us. Hello to Stickers McQueen. Hello to Jordan Jorneau, who's taking the night off here tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us. Lisa Kelly, as always. Tyler Berger coming off his best career road course finish last week. And hello to the Montecheck gang as usual. Hello to Bailey, Marie, and Robin. Right now, Joshua back in the 14th position. One up from where he started. Your tournament runners right now, Zach Lockett is in 15th, and Cole Maxwell is in 17th. A little bit of daylight between them, but they're still keeping each other pretty well in check up to this point.
Yeah, a little bit of daylight, and Brantley Gainey in between the 93 and the 69 right now. Early on in this run, though, I mean, you do have to save some tire here, kind of depending on what your strategy is going to be. So you don't want to push it too hard early, although the cooler track temperature should help you save tire a little bit.
Is there any worse feeling, Leo, than being out there on the track and knowing you've used your stuff up too early?
I could say something, but I don't think
Oh, boy. We'll keep
Yeah, it
to
isn't
the sim.
it is not a good feeling.
Oh, certainly not.
You sit there, you just pray, or you kind of pray, hope someone will go in the wall, but a caution will come out, something, anything.
First side-by-side battle we got right now is for 11th. It's Matney on the outside and Freed challenging. Still a couple
Matney.
drivers side-by-side behind them as well.
Yeah, Matney trying to really push it hard out of turn number 2. Gets into the wall a little bit on exit, but he's able to clear Freed. As Matacek and Lockett going side-by-side. Of course, some drivers running car inside cameras for us here tonight. Josh Matacek, one of those drivers, as he has been for quite some time now.
No helmet tonight.
Yeah, I think I don't think that's one that you want to do every night.
No.
That's got to be extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, some people keeping each other at arm's length. Peterson tightening it up to Stearns here. Stearns not going away from John Kay, but it's Jeremy McKinnon, a second and a half clear. McKinnon ran a great race here last season and came up just short on a big tire strategy differential to bring it home in P2. McKinnon would love a second victory here this season and to right the wrong from the big concrete track last season.
Well, he is really putting a gap on these drivers right now, but you have to worry. Only 15 laps into this one. Is he burning them up way too quick?
Jan Van Leer up 3 spots. That's Leo's boss man there. He's running up in 7th, trying to track down Schlosser in Palumbo as their nose to tail. I know you're trying to learn about racing the truck, and there's got to be hardly no better person, especially in the Venom Truck Series, to have in your back pocket than Jan Van Leer. He's missed only one Venom Truck Series race ever. So if there's ever a guy to learn from, it's got to be him.
Peterson now starting to try to get to the outside of Stearns, but man, especially once that right front starts to get some wear on it, you get really tight out of the corners.
That's so much space to operate with up there. It's so tempting to try and put a wheel in there, but you can already see this concrete is darkening up. And if you're up in the gray, it's no good. Oh, there's some gray. How about Stearns? Taking a big swing down low here in the tri-oval.
See if John can carry the momentum off the top side here. Gonna be able to. Stearns gonna dive it down into turn 3, but they're even all the way through. If you want to get a sense of how the tires wear here, I did about I'm not sure exactly how many laps it was, maybe 35 to 40 or so, and it was a fairly aggressive run. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't saving really at all. but 70% on the right front and 86% left on the right rear. So the right front gets absolutely chewed to bits here on the concrete in Nashville.
Hello to Ty Coleman, who's cheering on Austin Holyfield. Holyfield just fended off a challenge for his 9th position. I know Austin was super bummed that he had to miss last week. That update was weird. Obviously, it caught us out on the broadcast as well, but numerous people had issues with it, including Holyfield, who did not get it done in time to make the grid last week. So good, solid comeback top 10 run from him. He's been in the top 15 in the points all season. But Logan now going to look to the inside, try and take 9th once again. They're side by side behind them. It's still Freed and Matney going at it. And hello to Skibbity on Ohio. There's not a 21 truck in this field here tonight. Maybe he's looking for Caleb Bensey or looking for Jeff Langston, but he's missed him by a few seasons. But appreciate you hanging out with us regardless. Maybe he's cheering for Cole Maxwell there in P21. And I think everybody's cheering for Cole Maxwell here tonight. I'm also cheering for Zach Lockett, but it would definitely be cool to see Cole pull off the in-season tournament championship. But some work to be done for that. Modicek and Gainey now side by side for 14th.
Right behind them, Zittel and Elliott side by side as well.
Oh, he's cheering on Brantley Gainey. Okay.
Well, Gainey's right in the middle of a heated battle with Modicek right now.
Gainey's got a nose out ahead. They're side by side for 5th now. That happened quick, as Jan Van Leer has taken over Schlosser and now trying to complete the pass here on Palumbo, and Andy Poliski is here.
Peterson and Kay getting side by side here as well. This is what happens. You figure out who was able to save some, who wasn't, and people are going to start to drop out, and others are going to start to drive forward.
I think that's exactly what Andy Poliski did. He was very fast in practice, qualified 4th, dropped way back, and now you see him surging ahead. As he's gotten past Schlosser, he has looked to get past Palumbo, and now we'll see if he has anything for Jan Van Leer once he takes over the 54 here for this 5th position, rather the 6th position.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot, though. I mean, when the right front starts to wear, it's very difficult to run that bottom. To make a pass anyways. You can run side by side, but it's very hard to get out front. I think he's going to get clear here out of 4. But he had to work for that one for a few laps.
Still pretty tight, all things considered, towards the front of the field. Chad Stearns now in clean air, starting to click off some faster lap times, but McKinnon has got a 2-second advantage over this 05 truck. And you talked about splitting this race into thirds. So where does that leave these drivers in terms of making a pit stop? Making their first, rather.
Yeah, they're going to be eyeballing lap 41. Probably they might try and go a little bit further here on the first one to make the last 2 just a little bit shorter, but I would say by lap 45, a lot of these drivers are going to be down pit road, at least half the field. Of course, we may have a couple of drivers go for the ultimate strategy plays and just maybe run it out. I don't advise that, but you never know.
I mean, a caution-free race really does open up the strategy game here. We saw a lot of strategy here last season. So who is to say? McKinnon now has flipped it back, and he's starting to run faster laps than Stearns. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Cole Maxwell battling it out here right around the top 20, trying to keep himself in a decent position for the rest of the race. He's likely going to be using some strategy to try and advance his position.
Leo, have you been following the 69 to Maxwell here? You were keeping a close eye on him in practice.
I have been looking at them, actually going through all the cars, looking at their lap times, and it seems like the first 12 laps, everyone went pretty hard. They're all starting to settle down now and all into the 31s, low to mid 31s. It's very interesting. Some are more consistent in lap times than others, so yeah, I think the pit strategy is going to really come into play later in this race.
You know, at some of these weirder tracks like this, you're not always guaranteed long green flag runs. We're 30 laps into this run now. You know, you've got multiple different strategy options in front of you. Like, how do we feel? How do you know what strategy you're going to go for here at this point in the run? Is it slowly based off of how well you've treated your tires up to this point? How much are you factoring track position into that?
I think coming into pits tonight's going to be interesting with all the right front tyre wear. Be interesting to see what brake bias a lot of people are using as they come in, that they're going to lose traction coming into pit lane trying to slow down.
This is a very tricky pit lane as well. It is certainly abrupt, and we've seen a lot of contact of drivers getting on pit road here under green flag conditions here in the past. We had a caution in the Truck 200 race here a couple of seasons ago from drivers trying to get onto pit road and getting tangled up with one another. So this is an unkind pit road, to say the least.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who adjusts their brake bias before they come down into pit lane, try and get stopped down to the pit lane speed.
Stearns started to track down Jeremy McKinnon a little bit. He's down to 1.7 seconds. Peterson not too far behind here either. He has got very similar pace to what Chad Stearns has right now, and only 0.6 of a second up to the 05 truck. We just saw a big scrum there with Joshua Matichek. Matichek continuing to kind of fall backwards here. He's back to 18th.
Yeah, he just might have pushed it a little bit too hard, and that right front's really starting to give way on him here as Schlosser and Logan are side by side as well. This would be for 8th. Some of these drivers
Schlosser.
are gonna...
Go ahead.
Sorry, these drivers, you mentioned Jeremy McKinnon, that big lead, and I mean, we're about 10 laps away from the pit stop. At least that's what we believe. They're going to have to start hoping that McKinnon starts losing some traction and starts working backwards here a little bit, because having a 2-second lead just a few laps ago, I thought he would fall back a lot quicker than that.
Well, you and I both know how hard Jeremy pushes, and that is always the concern, even with some clean air up front, that he may have pushed it too hard. But if he's targeting lap 45, he's only starting to fall off the pace relative to the rest of the field, like right now. So maybe he's only got 10 more laps to try and hold on to this lead. It is slimming, but he's still got it.
Yeah, the other thing is he doesn't even have to go that far. I mean, he could come in like 5 laps and be totally fine as well. So he's still got some options here.
The one thing you don't want is to be the first driver on pit road, and the second driver on pit road brings out the caution. Good battle in here. Palumbo and Jan Van Leer. Jan had this spot. Palumbo is trying to take it back.
To jump in, Chad's definitely running down Jeremy every lap at the moment, 10th per lap.
And it's a pretty consistent 10th per lap as well. No matter what time McKinnon runs, Stearns is pretty much bang on the number to try and whittle this gap down. It's down to 1.25 seconds. So he might get there by the time we start getting some pit stops here.
Going board, Zach Lockett. He's right behind Schlosser and Josh Freed, trying to continue his work forward here. And he can hear him way out of the throttle trying to run the bottom there in turns 1 and 2.
Well, Schlosser is one driver that is certainly going to be hoping to get on pit road as quickly as possible here. He is starting to drop very quickly. Brantley Gainey right behind this 04 truck now as well. But good work from Lockett on this run, up from 19th to 10th. So he is the hard charger so far.
Yeah, if he continues that trajectory, he's got a great shot at a top 5.
Here's Brantley looking for 11th. Schlosser going to try and roll the outside. Still got a little fight left in him. Oh, wow. Brantley was really, really loose there. I think Schlosser crowded him a bit there on the bottom. Gap is now down to a second for the lead. Stearns continuing to work away here at McKinnon. Although the gaps have narrowed a little bit between the lap times. A 31:39 and a 31:38 last time by. Peterson, the fastest of the top 3 right now. 31:28 for Peterson. He continues to close inside half a second now for Stearns for second. Rodney Matney is going to kick off this green flag pit cycle. Matney running in P15, says he's coming to pit road this time. And McKinnon gave up a huge chunk of time there last time by. I thought maybe he was slowing down to come to pit road. You could see that gap visually almost cut in half. So Stearns is catching McKinnon here in a hurry, as Matney and both Sargents down pit road here on lap 44. Or rather, lap 43. McKinnon bypasses pit road this time. A couple more drivers will make their way down. Here comes Greg Elliott, Austin Holyfield, Joshua Matacek in as well. Here comes Tyler Bergert and Garrett Rainey.
Yeah, big train of drivers.
And there's crew chief Matt Williamson bang on with the strategy once again. McKinnon now, half a second advantage over Stearns. Stearns half a second over Peterson. As here come runners from the top 5, John Kay, Andy Poliski. Zach Lockett now in from the top 10 as well. Slowly but surely, they start to funnel their way onto pit road.
Yeah, I gotta wonder if that'll bring most down pit road here. I do want to mention that, I mean, doing this race on 2 runs, 1 stop is not out of the question either. You only have to run less than another 20 laps from this point on to make it a 1-stop race. Although with a lot of tire wear on the right front, that is going to get really, really slippery and really difficult by the end of it, but it's definitely possible.
Palumbo, Van Leer, Logan, Schlosser, and Cole Maxwell all down pit road. And now we're going to start to see the difference in lap times here from fresh tires to the old tires. Peterson just keyed up over the radio. He may be coming down from 3rd here this time.
Gotta be honest, a little bit surprised these guys are going this far past lap 45.
Here comes Stearns.
Here comes Stearns and
Here comes Peterson. Peterson a little more aggressive there on the entry. We'll hope that he didn't just pick himself up a black flag. It doesn't look like he did. But that will leave McKinnon, Freed, and Gainey and Vroman out front, but McKinnon over the radio says he's coming in this time. So trying for a one-lapper. As McKinnon slowing down.
Pretty conservative.
Big wide arc there. New leader for the first time tonight, it's Josh Freed. Kyle Zittel coming in. Rather, Kyle Zittel heading out. So the top four have yet to make their service stop. Yeah, last lap for Jeremy McKinnon was somewhere in the 32s. And these guys are turning 29.7s right now on the fresh tires.
Boy, look at this gaggle all together.
Not good when they're in two big chunks as Poliski and Peterson make contact.
Palumbo and Lockett just about got together as well.
Not too sure Jan and Steve Vroman didn't get together as well. Of course, Vroman on the older tires trying to survive out here as long as possible.
Yeah, at this point, I got to believe that Freed, Gainey, and Vroman are going for the one stop along with Eric Breeding.
Eric Breeding, the guest on the Venom cast this week. It's a great listen. Be sure to give it a spin over there on JK Gaming.
You guys talking about one stop? Let's throw a spanner in the works. What happens with 70? What do we got left? 75 laps left. That if they go 2 tires on the next stop and not 4, time they could gain with that as well.
Oh boy, how does this? Were you even paying attention to the left front on that run, Matt, to know if that would work?
I wasn't. I think it may have been at 93 or so, which isn't. I mean, definitely isn't bad, but that would be a gutsy. That would be a gutsy call.
It could be doable.
You just really have to be careful on those cold right side tires for like the first 5 laps. That could be really difficult to navigate.
As somebody who's not very good at this track, on 4 fresh tires in ideal track conditions, coming out on 2 would be, oh boy, that would be very, very tough. Yeah, but certainly, if you're looking for a big swing, that's one way to get yourself in the fight.
Well, if I was racing a few more bourbons, I might have the balls to do that. But, yeah.
We talk about how unique of a track this is. Anytime that we happen to get it on the broadcast, you're from down under, and you and I were talking a little bit earlier about the one of my top wish list tracks for iRacing, the Calder Park Thunderdome. Not totally like this track, but not totally unlike it either. It's one of the more similar ones that we've got here in the States to the Thunderdome. But you've gotten to rip some laps on that in real life as well.
Yeah, I was lucky when I was younger. Actually, when NASCAR came to Australia, I was involved in Speedway, and I crewed with 2 drivers, George Elliott and Walter Giles. I believe Walter's over in the States now, still involved with NASCAR. So, yeah, 1.5 mile track, and I don't know, reminds me a little bit of Atlanta in some ways, the smaller Atlanta. You got a couple of nice bumps on it, but yeah, 180 mile an hour, you can rip around there. Then they had the Oz cars that used to go in the opposite direction to what you guys normally do in NASCAR. So it was an interesting track to race at.
Well, I know iRacing have been down there. There's talks of them skating some other tracks as here comes Brantley Gainey from second, and boy, he is absolutely walking that. Oh my goodness, that was an impressive save. That was pointed, all 4 corners were pointed in a different direction at every point there. Oh boy. But I know iRacing has been down there to scan Adelaide and the Bend as well. Some talks of them doing some other tracks. I really hope that they get the Calder Park Thunderdome on there. It's a great facility. Both layouts as well.
Well, as you were saying earlier, Pukekohe, it's the home of Shane Van Gisbergen it down in New Zealand. So that'd also be a great track.
Well, certainly they've got a lot on their hands, and they've got a lot in the works as well, and I know they have some big plans. But throw a guy who loves a weird oval a bone and put the Thunderdome on there, and it would make a lot of folks happy. That's my plea.
I think next week we'll have our hands full doing Bristol dirt. Come on.
Certainly.
There's a few guys who are going to be sweating on that one.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if we've really highlighted this a whole lot, but Chad Stearns is firmly out in front of McKinnon, and it's only that one lap tire difference. So Stearns right now is in the driver's seat.
But McKinnon is closing to about 0.2 of a second. They're both behind John Kay. So Kay has got the jump on these two. But McKinnon's going to have to work here. Peterson not too far behind.
Be interesting to see if John is able to save a little bit of tire. He's about 4 or 5 lap older tires than those other two.
Eric Breeding is for position here as these drivers roll by. And he may... Nope, he's not coming to pit road yet. So Breeding, if I'm not mistaken, tried this strategy last season as well. Went on the one-stopper with Jeremy. And certainly Josh Freed and Steve Roman have made their beds. They're still out on the track with Eric Breeding. And John Kay is 15 seconds behind Vroman. He's got another 18 and a half up to Freed for the lead. So we'll see by the time they catch the top two how these tires are looking.
Yeah, I mean, they're only 2 laps from the halfway point, so they are certainly going to be coming down pretty quickly, I would assume.
You would hope. I hope for them that they're coming down soon, because this can't be any fun having to work these trucks after 60 straight laps on these absolute bricks.
Well, it's funny you say that. Josh Freed that's leading at the moment. I believe he's going for the one-stop strategy. I'm just looking the last 15 odd laps. He's been pretty consistent in his times. He hasn't really dropped off that much.
Yeah, we'll go on board with him here.
Freed had just cracked the top 10 right when that pit cycle started. And we said a congratulations to him last week. A proud new papa, still sticking it out here with the Venom Truck Series on a Tuesday night. Here comes Steve Roman from second as we're following along with Freed. So you're right on once again. Roman in as soon as he possibly can be. We'll see if Freed will follow this time. Yep, Freed is coming down this time.
Yeah, I mean, he's turning this wheel 70, 75 degrees in a couple of these corners. So, yeah, it's he's done a great job. As Leo said, very consistent, and that's what you have to be if you're going to go for that long-term tire play.
Eric Breeding is still not down pit road, so he's the last one. But he is really going slow here on the bottom of the track. Trying to make it on 0 stops, maybe. Here he comes.
Alrighty, Chad Stearns, Jeremy McKinnon have reeled in John Kay now, so those older tires for Kay starting to come into effect. A couple of sharks behind him.
Yeah, and Kay didn't quite have the pace that the top 3 had over the course of the long run, so maybe just going for the track position. But Stearns and McKinnon certainly have him covered. Peterson does as well. He's 7/10 behind. Okay, washing up the track there. McKinnon doesn't take advantage down low. He'll try and take the long way through on Kay. These are 3 drivers with runner-up finishes here at the Nashville Superspeedway, but never a win. But they're all winners this season already elsewhere. Great stuff here up front. Stearns now the leader. McKinnon giving chase, the reverse of what it was earlier. Kay and Peterson and Palumbo, the top 5. Zach Lockett, a great drive, 19th to 7th thus far. Don Van Leer running at 8th. Tyler Logan, Matt Schlosser back up to 10th.
We'll check in on Zach Lockett here right in the heart of the top 10. And Andy Poliski right out in front of him. He is up a lot of positions, up 12 positions now. So looking to grab that. Oh, and he's in the wall. Trying to grab the in-season tournament championship. He's doing a good job right now, but he's got to keep hanging on to it.
Cole Maxwell's running back there in the 16th position. He's got some time to catch up to Kevin Sargent. Sargent doesn't hardly have anybody in front of him, so Maxwell will be hoping for a caution or something to happen here to lock it. But certainly Nashville Superspeedway, one of those tracks where if you find the wall once, more than likely you're going to find it again.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. I mean, once you start pushing that right front, it's just going to continue to push. You really have to be disciplined. I think that's a characteristic that does you very well at a racetrack like this. You have to be disciplined in the line and not push the tires too hard on any given lap.
Afraid a lack of discipline is why I'm up here and not down there.
And then we're going to go to the dirt next week. And we're going to go to the dirt next week where you don't really have to have any discipline. Just hammer the throttle and make her stick. Okay, pretty hard into the wall out of 4 there.
Yeah, he's going to lose a big chunk of time here as he loses the 3rd spot to Luke Peterson. You notice McKinnon keeping to a 1/4 of a second, just a couple truck lengths here back from the race leader, Chad Stearns, but he's running half a lane higher in both ends of this track. Oh, here comes John Kay from 4th.
Oh, my.
And that's 45-25.
Yeah, he's... Oh, dear. He's gonna
Maybe
have
he really
pretty,
thinks he's got some damage.
Yeah, and he very well might. I mean, if you knock that toe out, the bad thing is you hit the wall like that on the right front, and you knock the toe out, it's only going to worsen how fast that right front tire wears. And, yeah, if he's got any sort of damage to that, that could really kill his long-term speed.
Ooh, big slide up the track there for McKinnon. He lost the front end of that truck. John Kay back out onto the track.
And remember, no fast repairs either, so if Kay did have damage, he's going to have to get it fixed the slow way, and it didn't seem like he stayed in there very long. So either saw that there wasn't much damage and he was all right to keep going, or just decided, I really don't have a choice. I just have to get out of my box here. But he's going to have a long run to the finish.
Yeah, that was only a 26-lap run on those tires. There are a couple people that are close, especially this train behind Aiden Palumbo here, but nobody making moves currently. Tyler Logan is going to try and pull up the Pony Express caboose here. Cole Maxwell's done a nice job. What's going on?
We haven't talked about this because I didn't think that this was in play. The last couple times we've come to Nashville Superspeedway, it was not happening, but I think I'm hearing Hayden Palumbo shifting in the corners here.
Very interesting.
We have not seen that for quite a few seasons on iRacing. That used to be a very popular thing to do here at Nashville Superspeedway, but it kind of went away for a while, so maybe a setup change? I'm not sure what it is, but Palumbo feels like shifting is the way to go here now.
I don't think he's loving the handle on his truck right now. Even with clean air out in front of him, he did not handle very well there, and it's opened the door for Poliski to get underneath.
The one thing it will do is maybe try and get you to wear out the right rear a little bit more evenly with the right front. Maybe trying to save the right front by making the right rear wear a little quicker, I guess. That is a possibility as he almost jumps down right into Andy Poliski's lap there.
Oh, John Kay on pressure tires right into the back of Jan Van Leer.
Just watching the time distance between the leader and Josh Freed, who only did the one stop at the moment. He's actually gaining on him, and take away another time it takes to get in and out of pits. He could be, if this stays green, he could be in a very, very good position, fellas.
I was just keeping my eye on him. He just made a pass for 16th on Cole Maxwell. We'll have Kevin Sargent up next. But you're absolutely right here. Freed is... Brantley Gainey also went long, but stopped, I think, 5 or 6 laps before this 39 truck. So Gainey's up in 13th. Freed is now up to 16th as we got more pit stops.
Well, I think Freed is good to go to the end now, as long as it stays green.
And you talk about discipline. Boy, if you're feeling like you've got some confidence here, I mean, he'd built up a 15-second gap by the time that he did come into pit. If you're feeling like you're going to have this on the back end of the race, boy, you've got to be very excited, but you can't show it, because if you start to drive too happy, then you're going to start to burn up the tires on this truck, and you really need them there at the end.
I'm just hoping it stays green, because I think it's going to make for a very interesting finish.
Here comes Jeremy McKinnon and Hayden Palumbo.
These are early pit stops. I mean, they're going to have
Yes, they are.
over 40 laps to get to the finish here. I thought they were going to try and give themselves some shorter runs on this last one, but they are coming in early, trying to get the track position.
Something happened to Greg Elliott as he came into pit road, and he is disconnected from this session. Not sure if maybe he was... Oh, no, he spun out. Lucky not to trigger a caution there, because he came out onto the track. But Greg Elliott's night is over. So that frees up Luke Peterson now to challenge Chad Stearns. Very similar lap times between these two, and only a half a second between them. Peterson really driving this 38 truck like somebody else used to here at the Super Speedway. As here come Poliski and Jan Van Leer from the top 5.
Yeah, that number certainly had some good runs here, that's for sure.
Just a couple. Zach Lockett now running in third, says he's coming down pit road this time. You're right. I'm surprised it's this early. You know, in your brain, you got to be screaming for fresh tires at this point, but I'm surprised so many people are pulling the trigger here this early.
The only reason I'm surprised is we saw so many stay out further than the lap 41-42 mark, which would have split it right in thirds. So,
Well, we've got Jan spinning, exiting the pit lane.
Oh, no!
That must be that VB. It's one of the worst Aussie beers you could buy.
Well, he kept it off the track, so we're going to stay green, but I mean that was a top 5 run from him, and I'm not too sure he didn't pick up an improper exit penalty as well. So, I mean, that is just absolutely throttled his race here. Yeah, that's too bad. Having a really good night. So Gary Clark will follow him in. We've still got, looks like the top 10 give or take a few, still out here on their second run of the day. John Kay is 6 seconds clear on Jeremy McKinnon, but again, Kay pit so early after making some contact with the wall.
Yeah, if he doesn't have damage, I would assume he's saving pretty hard at the beginning of the run. So maybe he's going to still have quite a bit left in the tank, but yeah, I mean, he's I would assume pretty much cooked at this point.
Yeah, McKinnon 0.8 of a second faster last time by. Well, I don't know what to make of this anymore. Here comes Chad Stearns from the lead. Stearns gave away a race a couple of weeks ago on pit road. That looked like a much nicer, much slower entry for him. Slower relative to pit road speed anyway.
Take a look at a couple of these incidents real quick. This is Greg Elliott coming off of pit road, and we talked about how dangerous these trucks were going to be on cold tires, and the apron here is very tough. And as Tommy mentioned, Elliott came out onto the racetrack and might have alt F4'd to stay out of everybody's way. And I'll try and find Jan Van Leer's incident.
This was more dramatic. I'm surprised it didn't mark that one.
As Freed and Monacek side by side here for a moment. Freed on 20 lap fresher tires and Monacek at this point on that one-stop strategy. But running side by side here. Now Freed's going to get cleared. And Rodney Matney is saying, get out of my way. So here's the pit exit for Jan. See where he breaks loose here. It is right as he's making the bend. He gets a little bit loose. It must have been the lap after he came off of pit road, unless we have the wrong exit here.
I think that was his second exit.
Yeah, I think he got a black flag for the unsafe pit exit. He spun after his pit stop.
Yeah, it's weird what it marks and what it doesn't mark. I'm just more impressed that we went 70% of the way through this race and didn't take a replay.
I know, this one in the past has had quite a few cautions per race. This one so far,
Or at least just big crashes.
Through.
Here, riddle me this, Mr. Matt Williamson. Josh Freed running in 5th. He is presumably either the top driver or the second top driver, because really it's Brantley Gainey in 3rd that we think is going for the one-stop strategy. John Kay pits 7 laps after Josh Freed. He's only got about 8 seconds up to this 39 truck. Is John Kay maybe trying to cover off Josh Freed? Honestly, it may not matter because Jeremy McKinnon's only 2 seconds behind him. But,
yeah,
I mean, there's just so much to keep track of.
Yeah, they still have to come down pit road. McKinnon and Stearns are at least your... What am I talking about? No, they don't. I don't know what's going on. Freed is definitely the top dog on that alternate strategy.
Well,
the problem is he's got a long ways to go here still.
Yeah, Freed and Gainey both have a long way to go. Here comes Luke Peterson now. He has gone for the long overcut over Chad Stearns and Jeremy McKinnon.
And what's nice about that is he doesn't have to worry about that save. He is pushing from here on out.
Yes, certainly is. 30-ish laps on these tires. Peterson already with great long run pace can get after it. So Kyle Zittel, Austin Holyfield, and Joshua Matacek Tyler Bergert as well, we think are going to have to come in again. And that should leave Gainey and Freed and Vroman on the one-stop strategy. Everybody else will be on the two. Is your head spinning yet? Here comes Kyle Zittel.
I wasn't
as confusing as it is. These are the best races for this exact reason.
Yeah, we love these type of races. I just wasn't expecting to have to do these sorts of mental gymnastics here tonight. I thought we were going to have a couple cautions and it was going to be easy pickings.
I would have stretched out first if I thought we were going to have to do this much. Freed overtakes Austin Holyfield, so that leaves Gainey and Freed the top dogs.
And Holyfield
Presumably
is coming down pit road.
Oh, Holyfield had to pit from the outside wall there as Freed was getting underneath of him. That was a bit risky. So Freed, 1.5 seconds with, I think, 6 lap fresher tires than Brantley Gainey. But presumably they are going to run it out to the end. Roman another 4.5 behind them. Jeremy McKinnon's gotten through on John Kay, so McKinnon now is the leader of the two stoppers.
What's interesting here is Freed and Gainey's lap times are pretty close right now. Though their tires might be evening out here at this point in the run. That is going to be a tough pass for Freed to try and make on Gainey.
Oh, Joshua Monacek on pit exit will pick up a black flag. Boy, it has just not been his night.
Put Cole Maxwell up on your screen. Currently running in 17th. Zach Lockett is sitting in 9th, so Maxwell is going to have to hope for a caution or that Lockett has some sort of an issue here to have a chance at the hardware for the in-season championship.
You've also got Jerry. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just having a look at the lap times. Jerry McKinnon's actually gaining on the leaders by nearly half a second a lap at the moment. So it's, what have we got left? Well, 25 laps. It's going to be interesting.
And he's only got about 11, 12 seconds up to Brantley Gainey at the front of this field.
Yep, so looking up to half a second, quarter of a second to half a second per lap at the moment he's gaining.
Boy, this is almost an identical situation to what he was in last season. But last season we thought he was on the back foot. I kind of feel like he's got a chance right now, other than the fact that Chad Stearns is behind him clocking quicker laps.
I mean, if he's gaining a half a second a lap and we got 25 to go, and then he's got 12 seconds up to Brantley Gainey. That's going to put him, I mean, literally to them right on the last couple of laps.
Well, Josh's last lap was a 31.3. Jeremy was a 30.9.
Say at some point, Jeremy's tires are going to plateau, and Freed and Gainey will have to get into like the 50s and 40s for it to really start to make a difference in terms of tire wear. And for Jeremy to start gaining that advantage back. I'm sure McKinnon is giving it all he's got right now. The problem is Chad Stearns is closing in pretty quickly as McKinnon is navigating traffic. Stearns now inside of a second. And if I am Roman, Freed, or Gainey, these are the two drivers I absolutely do not want to see, regardless of the circumstances, chasing me down at the end of a race.
Oh boy, McKinnon's really getting caught up with traffic here.
This is Paul Sargent in the 49.
Sargent on the same strategy as McKinnon and Stearns here, but going a lap down. Boy, that really allowed Stearns to gain a lot of time on McKinnon.
I mean, he was 1.7 seconds back just a couple laps ago, and now it's 2 truck lengths. Meanwhile, Fried is caught gaining to a second, as the drivers trying to track them down are now only 4.3 seconds behind. Or rather, I guess 8.6.
Yeah, they're 4.3 from Vroman, and then it's another 4 seconds up to Fried.
Here's Stearns. Certainly the one-stoppers will be hoping that this will carry on for a few laps, but it doesn't look like it's going to. Stearns pulls ahead of McKinnon. Now what could really slow Chad Stearns down here would be Steve Roman.
This is going to be close, fellas.
Oh, man. This is awesome. I hope everybody out there is enjoying this one. It's a long overdue strategy melee here for the What Would Dolly Do 166. I think Dolly would pull up in the chat, let us know who she's rooting for, and get a beverage and a snack and hunker down here for the final few laps.
God, I wish I went and got a couple of beverages before this race, let me tell you. Sitting on the edge of my seat watching this.
I think some libations will be consumed after this one either way. Fried has Gainey to 0.8 of a second, now 0.7. As Fried is navigating a lot of traffic, Gainey has clear track ahead of him, the 22, the race leader right now. But it's in reverse here because a lot of the traffic around them have fresher tires, so they're actually working their way through.
Yeah, that's Kevin Sargent, Austin Holyfield, and they are battling for position while going through on your leaders here.
Yeah, Cole Maxwell in that mix as well.
Well, Chad needs about 14 laps to catch Brantley at the moment.
Oof.
If we've got enough left.
I think we're right about there.
Based on lap times, that's what it's. He needs 14 laps to catch him.
Well, he's going to have to make quick work of Steve Vroman when he catches him as well. Vroman, a second and a half ahead of this 05. And the season that Steve Vroman's had, you are definitely sure he is fighting for a spot in the top 5 at the end of this one tonight. So this is not going to be an easy pass here for the 05. Yeah, Fried in traffic has lost Brantley Gainey. I mean, that gap is almost doubled. So it's a second and a quarter now. But Gainey will have to deal with this traffic here shortly as well, as Sargent and Maxwell not too far behind. Although Maxwell may stay between first and second and help out his teammate leading the race. Not out of the question.
We're not doing a Formula One like last weekend, are we?
I don't know. Like he's got a seat full of water at this point. I mean, he is sunk to second and a half now behind Gainey.
Yeah, I'd love to be listening to the team radio at the moment, I think.
Oh, Gainey from the lead is in. Oh, no.
Did he run out? Or is he running out?
I don't know.
I mean, he came
Oh, my
in,
goodness.
He came in about 8 laps before Josh Fried, so if he's out, Fried could be in jeopardy of running out.
Oh, that is alarming. Meanwhile, Stearns half a second behind Vroman. Now this is going to be the battle for second. And these gentlemen are inside of 3 seconds behind Fried now, the new race leader. Closing in on 10 to go.
How hard is Steve Vroman going to fight here?
There's one left flick of the wrist, but Stearns is going to send it. And he's clear already. Oh, boy. Stearns may be in trouble. Brantley Gainey's going to come out right next to this 05, and he'll have to get back through on him at some point here on the fresher tires, you would imagine. So this will impede the progress a bit of Stearns. The new winner streak is in jeopardy. Stearns lurking back here in second on the fresher tires. Freed could keep it alive. But does he have enough fuel? Does he have enough tire? Does he have enough gumption up front?
Oh, he's got gumption, baby.
That's what we like to hear. 2 1/4 seconds.
He's going to need about 8 laps to catch him.
What do you know? We've got 10 to go.
Stearns is coming quickly.
Oh, pass me a beer.
Boy, you picked a good night for this, huh?
Oh, that I did. It's, I think it's been one of the best Venom races that I've been, well, not involved in. I'm watching tonight, but one of the best I've actually watched, apart from your replays. It's been an amazing race.
It certainly has. We were long overdue for a race like this. Any slip up from Stearns could very well take him out of this, but the gap is down to a 1.5 seconds. Continuing to close.
Yeah, and Gainey is not too far behind. Be interesting to see what happens here as well. Or will he just let him battle it out?
Eight laps to go. It's inside of a second. Stearns, you can just about get them both in the blimp shot here. Oh, this gap is closing rapidly.
Well, Josh has done all right, starting from 16th, going for the one-stop strategy. And second or third, I think Chad's going to get him, but still a pretty impressive run.
I think Josh will be mighty happy with the podium here tonight, but I would imagine he's going to throw some elbows here, defending for his what would be his first race win here in Venom. Inside 0.5 seconds now.
Chad Stearns shifting in turns 1 and 2 now as well.
Inside of 2 truck lengths. 6 laps to go. Stearns backing up 3 and 4. The door's open. Chad has it at the stripe and outright into turn number 1. 05 is back on point. What an effort from this 39. Now he's got to hope that he has enough gas to bring it home on the podium. He's got 2 seconds back to Steve Vroman. Luke Peterson just got through on Jeremy McKinnon to take 4th away. So Peterson now will be trying to track down this 00 to sneak 3rd out in the closing laps.
And Peterson came down really late. He is going to be coming with a full head of steam.
Yeah, I'm not too sure he won't take this position here in the next couple laps. That gap is closing very, very quickly. But it's all Stearns up front. John Kay's lost 2 spots on this lap. He is really starting to hurt on these older tires. He's dropped down to 10th. And Zach Lockett in position to take the first ever car inside in-season tournament. Just 2 2/3 of a mile left to go when Chad Stearns gets to the stripe this time.
Oh! Josh Jackson on really fresh tires. Just about ran Peterson over there on the front stretch.
But Peterson threw on Vroman. Without a blowout from this 39 truck, Peterson going to have to settle for third. To the stripe, it's going to go flag to flag here tonight. 1 lap to go. Chad Stearns looking to break the streak and be the first repeat winner of the season here in round number 9. He went almost 3 full seasons without a victory in the Venom Truck Series. How about 2 in 3 weeks? Chad Stearns back to victory lane, and he'll take Nashville Superspeedway. Josh Freed, second runner-up finish of the season. Luke Peterson back on the podium. Steve Vroman into the top 5 here this evening for the first time this season. And McKinnon will have to settle for P5 after dominating the early window of this race. But they call him Chad Stearns. He is full speed into the grass. Rear win number 8 in the Venom Truck Series for this 05. And the irony of Stearns passing his 939 teammate, Josh Freed, to take that win.
I mean, that team had a great night. You got Stearns and Freed up on the podium, and then Zach Lockett takes the in-season tournament championship.
Yeah, it's weird that the points leader, the one, I guess technically not on that team, but he's the one that has the worst night. But he's still out here doing donuts with him. Well, certainly, I think Chad Stearns is going to be the points leader after it's all said and done tonight. Schlosser down in P12.
That was a heck of a team photo right there after a great night on the racetrack.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and take a look at the full finishing rundown after a caution-free race. Clocks in at 1 hour and 5 minutes. Fantastic stuff here tonight at the Nashville Superspeedway. Chad Stearns with the win. Josh Freed up 14 from where he started in second. Luke Peterson in third. We'll talk to these 3 gentlemen here in just a second. It will be 4th place for Steve Vroman. He will take the hard charger tonight, plus 20. First top 5 of the season for him. Congrats. 5th place here tonight will go to Jeremy McKinnon, the pole sitter. It is a 6th place finish for Zach Lockett. We will also talk to him as he takes the car inside in-season tournament here this evening. 7th place for Andy Poliski, 8th for Kyle Zittel, Tyler Logan, John Kay. The rest of the top 10, Hayden Palumbo in 11th. Matt Schlosser in 12th, Ronnie Matney in 13th, Austin Holyfield and Kevin Sargent on the lead lap here tonight in 15th. Everybody else from here on out is 1 lap down, at least. Cole Maxwell in 16th, Brantley Gainey, man, thought he was going to pull it off there late, but he will settle for 17th. Tyler Berger in 18th. Garrett Rainey, Eric Breeding, the rest of the top 20. Paul Sargent in 21st. Gary Clark in 22nd. Jan Van Leer, 23rd. Josh Jackson, 3 down in 24th. Joshua Maticek, 3 down in 25th. Rough night for him. And then DNFs for Greg Elliott and Pascal Samar early in the running. We'll finish down in the 27th position. So let's go podium finisher hunting. Well, we would anyway if Luke Peterson were here. Well, I guess we'll wait for Luke, and we'll go ahead and start with your car inside in-season tournament winner. How about, I guess, another non-official win for Zach Lockett, but we're piling up the dubs nonetheless here. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. It was a little harder than I had expected, qualifying 19th. Really screwed up my qualifying lap after being fast in practice. But feels good to win this first in-season tournament. Really excited.
I mean, obviously, a big key to racing well here is being able to keep yourself alive on the long run, I guess. And knowing that you have to go deep in the field and you've got to pass a lot of trucks, does it maybe simplify the night a little bit, knowing the task ahead?
Yeah, I mean, I knew I had to save a little bit, but I also had to kind of be on my high horse there and get through the field as much as I could. I think after the first run there, I was in like 12th or 13th, but I knew I had to start pushing a little bit more. I think I nailed my pit stop and came out ahead of a couple of guys, or maybe some people had problems on pit road. I'm not sure, but that first pit stop really helped. And then at that point it was full tilt. So really didn't expect to make my way back up here, but I felt really good. Felt really good all night. Really came into this race like, after having a good night of practice last night and a good practice here before this race, like feeling super prepared to get on the podium. But like I said, tough night in qualifying, but overall happy with the result.
Matt, you got anything?
Yeah, congrats on. I mean, it was a great run, like you said, having to kind of work your way from the back to the front. I mean, you've been very consistent this season. Do you think the long runs and going green all the way through kind of helped you work your way through this one? Because I feel like if we had some cautions in there could have been a couple of melees at some point.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I honestly, once I qualified 19th, I was like, tonight's the night I'm gonna get into a wreck. Like, I have, knock on wood, not been in any wrecks all season and have kept my nose pretty clean here. But I thought maybe tonight everything was gonna unravel with a trophy on the line and with a little bit of a not clutch moment there. But I think like halfway through the race or so, it could have been nice once we all cycled out of a pit stop there and I was near the top 10 to kind of have like a full restart and everyone have a caution, everyone get fresh tires. And because I really think I could have been one of the fastest cars there. But overall, I think the long run, I was good at saving and pushing when I needed to. So yeah, long run definitely helped.
Leo, do you have anything for Zach?
Well, Zach, mate, congratulations, well done. But I actually said to the fellas before the race, they said, who do you think is going to be out there? I went, I think Zach's going to win it. The way you were in practice and the qualifier, I was like, damn it.
Hey, me too, man. Oh my God. I was like, I am the choke artist. So I appreciate you picking me.
No, I looked through the list. I went, I was watching you drive around. I went, no, I think he's in with a chance to win there.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Like I said, if we could have had one full reset, maybe had a caution, everyone get fresh tires, could have been in the top 10. Like Matt said, some melee could have happened. But yeah, I definitely thought, I could have worked my way up even closer to the front. But we'll take it.
Well, a night like tonight was fantastic stuff. Strategy all across the board. But a classic hard charger run here tonight. Not the official hard charger, but plus 13. Nothing to look down on. And also an in-season tournament win as well. So congrats to you. Let's get some shout-outs for you.
Thanks. Yeah. Shout out to 939. Chad with the win. Josh with a bold strategy that really worked out well for him to pick up second. I know he was disappointed to not get the win, but I think he won the stage and then finished second. So he'll get a ton of points. Really, really proud of him and proud of everyone over here. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting and everyone in the league here. It really is my highlight of my week to come out here every week and run these clean races and be part of such a great group. So shout out to everyone here and gonna go have a couple shots of Pink Whitney, I think.
I don't think any of us are too far behind you after that one. So congrats.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And we'll keep the 939 train rolling. Luke Peterson is nowhere to be found. Hopefully everything is okay with him. But we'll talk to your runner-up finisher here tonight, Josh Freed. We'll go plus 14. And, man, so close yet again. Second runner-up finish of the season and a very entertaining race here this evening.
Yeah, it was close. Almost had it. Just was hoping every single time I was looking at the relative or who was behind me, and when I crossed the line, was hoping I didn't see Chad's name. And the second it popped up, I knew it was over. So almost had it, but I'm just glad I was able to save enough fuel to make it.
I mean, how tight was the margin there? I mean, obviously, the tires had to be miserable out there, but how close were you on fuel?
Yeah, I think I crossed the line with 1.2 to go. So I definitely stretched it a lot the first stage because I didn't want to have to save in the second stage in case, it came down to a last lap. I wanted to be able to push as hard as I could. So I definitely got everything I could out of it. I just didn't have the tires to keep Chad off. He just had a ton of speed today.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great run. I mean, we saw a couple of drivers, kind of go for that strategy, but I think you were far and away the best driver that attempted the one stopper. I mean, is that something you were kind of eyeing in practice, or had you thought about that throughout the week, and then it just happened to come to you? I mean, that was a bold move, and it worked out really well for you.
No, I wasn't really planning on it until I really screwed up my qualifying laps and kind of set myself back in the field. I don't know where I started, like 16th or something. So it's so hard to pass here too. That is kind of, I was making my way forward and I was around, I think I got to the top 10, but I just realized, like, I was like, man, it's going to be tough to get all the way up to the front. Just starting back this far and getting caught up in traffic. And I looked at it, I was like, you know what? I have enough fuel. I could make this really close on fuel. I'm going to try and see what happens. So, just went with the flow of it and it worked out pretty good. Can't be mad with P2.
Leo, you got anything?
Mate, ballsy strategy. You got a big set of kahunas going for what you did, buddy. That was awesome to watch.
I appreciate it.
I was really hoping you was going to win that. I really did.
Yeah, I really thought I was for the longest time. I didn't check in with Chad on where he was, and yeah, like I said, the second I saw him pop up that he was like 3 seconds back with 10 to go, I knew it was over.
Yeah, I was actually saying that to Matt and Tim during probably the last 20 laps, during your Chad's lap times and yours, sort of figuring it out. He actually got quicker. He wasn't going to catch you by the end, but yeah, he ended up gaining some speed. So.
Yeah, he was doing a great job with the shifting in the corners when he got low. I just couldn't afford to do that with the fuel situation, so it was tough. But good race, and I'm happy for Chad, and happy for Zach as well, getting that in-season tournament championship.
And I pointed out on the broadcast as well, if there's two drivers that you would not want to see on your relative running this strategy late in the race, one of them would definitely be Jeremy McKinnon, and the other one would probably be Chad Stearns. That's exactly what it came down to here tonight. But still, another runner-up finish for you, another podium here on the season. You're rocking and rolling here in season number 9. A great follow-up to a great rookie season last season. So good stuff here tonight and all 9 rounds thus far. Let's get some shout-outs for you here.
I appreciate it. Just, shout out Chad again for his win. Great race, speed all day. And then shout out Zach for his in-season tournament dub. Glad that the team could take that home as well. He's had a great year so far. He's got a ton of speed. He's huge improvements from last year. I'm excited to see what he can do with the championship.
All righty, partner. Thank you for the time here tonight. Go celebrate another podium, and we'll hopefully talk to you again next week.
Thanks, guys.
We do have the Preacher Man. Finally, here's Luke Peterson. We'll finish in third, charging through the field there late, and we'll welcome you back into booth 200 here tonight.
What's up, boys? How y'all doing?
Oh, we're having a grand old time. That was a fantastic race to watch, especially with you and a couple other drivers there on fresh tires, absolutely blowing the doors off of everybody else there late in the run, and had to feel like Superman there, charging back up onto the podium.
It was really nice. It was not as Supermanish as I wanted to be. I think I stayed out just a hair bit too long and ended up balancing right there toward the end. But I mean, that was what I decided to do earlier in the week. All the testing I'd done, figured somewhere between 30 and 35 laps was the way to go. So we gave her a shot.
Certainly did, and it did feel like Chad had great long run speed through those first couple of stints. Of course, everybody pitting there at super weird times in that second stage, probably threw some drivers for a loop as well. But I mean, you were closing on Chad there before he decided to come down pit road as well.
Yeah, he that first stint, I kind of hung up with John for a little while, and Jeremy set sail. He was really on something there in that first stint, and then after we came back out, we all kind of grouped up, and it felt like when we got to the middle of that run, Jeremy just fell off for some reason. I don't know exactly what happened with him, because he was bad fast even without clean air. So got around him, and it felt like when I got to the shifting phase of the race, I could make up about 300 or 400s on Chad every lap, and it felt like I was getting there, and he pit at like 87, and like I said, in my head I was thinking somewhere 90 to 95. And I ended up at 93, and I just think it was probably 2 laps too long. Which, then again, I was slow on pit road too. I got to work on that.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great run here. I mean, you talked about how you kind of ran the practice and you kind of figured out what the strategy was coming into the night. I think there's a lot of drivers that were trying to figure it out on the fly. I know that our brains up here in the broadcast booth were just going crazy trying to figure out all the strategy happening out on the racetrack. I mean, you're trying to run laps and also figure out what everybody's strategy is out there. I mean, how fast is your brain working to try and figure out what you got to do to try and get it done?
I didn't think you could one stop it. Since I shifted, I couldn't preserve enough fuel to do that, and it felt like to me the fall off was so great that wasn't even a possibility. So I really expected Roman and Freed to have to come down pit road and that they were waiting on a caution. And so I kind of rooted that one out, and really it was between me and Jeremy and Chad. After the first, I decided I was pitting at 47 on that first stop. I just liked how that broke up. And then after that, it was more of I was kind of waiting on Chad, and then I thought he went a little early, and I thought I was going to be able to run him back down. And apparently I was wrong, but my brain don't do strategy good anyway. So it is what it is. I used to rely on the great Nathan Reynolds for that.
Well, you were doing him well here tonight in that 38 truck here at Nashville Superspeedway. Leo, what you got?
Right, Luke, congratulations, mate. A really good run. Strategy tonight for a lot of you has come into play, but what a night too. I'm glad the insert coin doctor wouldn't let me race tonight. I think it's one of the best races that I've actually watched at Venom since I've been part of your group. It was amazing to watch.
Yeah, I was really sad you weren't here for one where we actually, don't wreck each other. It does happen. It's very rare, but we can do it.
Oh, mate, I think sitting here in the booth tonight, I was on the edge of my seat those last 20 odd laps, sort of crunching numbers to see who was going to catch who. It was awesome.
I can imagine how y'all felt. I'm sure the car inside cam came in because I looked ill as a hornet. I'm sure I was because it focused. It was pitiful. People'd say something. I forget which button to press to tell them anything.
Well, we'll get you rested up here. But man, what a night for you! Congrats on the podium run, and let's get some shout outs before we let you go.
Appreciate it, boys. As always, shout out to my beautiful wife Kim. She's actually started watching some of these. It's a miracle, I know. Mom and Dad, I'm sure Dad is actually watching. Shout out Carver Gutter, my one and only sponsor currently, but who knows? There may be things in the works. Shout out to my amazing team, Alabama Gang, and the boys from Super Kick. Love racing with those guys. Learn a lot. I get to practice with them every week. It's a blessing. Shout out the booth. I didn't get to hear Leo in it, but I'll be watching it in the morning, so I'm sure that's going to be a ball. And thank you guys as always.
Well, now that I know that your family were watching, Luke, I'm glad I watched what I said.
Me and the Lord appreciate that.
And God bless you, buddy.
Have a good night, buddy.
Night, boys.
All right, it's pulling your race winner. Second time this season, he's the first to do that. Chad Stearns, win number 8 with the Venom Truck Series. It has not been too long since we've talked to you. Welcome back.
Appreciate it.
Boy, that was a fun one. An absolute slog of a night, considering that it's this track. It's so mean on the tires, and you got no brakes, no respite whatsoever, and you are having to just, chase your own tail, it seems like. Overtaking the drivers that you were already ahead of out on the first stint, and then you have to do it again in the second stint, and then track down some more drivers that are flip-flopping strategies. It's got to be a lot to keep track of through the night.
Yeah, it can be. But really, that was pretty much the strategy, is to just qualify well and then manage the tires, hit my marks, and just stay steady. And I knew it had a chance of going green, so I felt if I managed my tires good, and I'm pretty decent at managing the tires, so I just tried to stay steady, and it all worked out.
I say it helps to simplify all the variables here at Nashville Superspeedway by just knowing that you have the pace to contend in the first place, and also the long run pace, which we all know that you have that in spades. And that sure came into play here tonight.
Yeah, so that's probably my strongest suit is the long runs. So, like I said, I just tried to stay steady and hit my marks. Oh, and also not have any big accidents or trouble on pit lane. I'm terrible pitting. So I just tried to slow it down a little bit, make sure I got in and out of pit lane well, and yeah, I like my chances.
Matt, what you got for the race winner?
Yeah, congrats on another race win. I think pretty decent is a big understatement when it comes to how good you are at saving tires and being good on the long run. But it took you a while to get one. Now you've racked up a second here in this season. It feels like the sky's the limit for you for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, so I would like to have more than just a 2. I feel like I kind of shot myself in the foot a couple times. But yeah, I'm just kind of going race by race, just trying to stay steady, hit my marks, and, whatever happens, happens. I don't think I've ever been top 5, top 10 even in points. So that's kind of a new goal for me this season. And yeah, man, so hopefully I can get a couple more wins, but if not, just try to stay up there in points.
Well, I can't imagine that you and our Aussie friend Leo here have had much interaction. So welcome to Mr. Leo Smith in booth 200 here.
Oh, Chad, mate, what a race! Well done on it. As it was great. One question. I've only got one question for you. Did you think you were going to catch Josh with 20 to go? Because we crunched the numbers and it was touch and go there.
I did not. I did not think I was going to catch him. So I was in Discord with him because, of course, he's on my team. And I didn't think I was going to catch him. So I started, really, really pushing. And when I started taking big chunks of time out, I kind of, I figured I'd be able to get to him then. But with 20, 25 to go, no, I definitely didn't think I was going to get there.
Yeah, I actually said to Matt and Tim, I said, I'd love to actually be jumping their team radio at the moment to hear what was going on. It was awesome win, buddy. It was good that you run him down. Said from 2-stop strategy and a 1-stop. That was I think one of the best races I've ever seen in Venom.
Yeah, man, it was a good, clean race. I mean, I'm kind of surprised it went green, but I'm not surprised because Venom's got a bunch of good racers. Yeah, shout out to Venom.
Yeah, and to your point earlier as well, we haven't seen you run a full campaign with the Venom Truck Series. I mean, anytime that we get you, you're obviously very fast and always a contender to win anytime that you arrive at the track. But we've got you for the whole campaign thus far. Is that the plan, to stick it out for the rest of the season and go for a title?
I was just talking to Josh, my teammate, about that. I was actually thinking I wasn't going to be able to make tonight's race, and I hurried up and got home so I could make it. And I was telling him I've never even came close to running a full season, and that kept me out of the top 10 in points even when I had multiple wins. So yeah, basically, the goal is to run every race. Hopefully I can do that. So yeah, definitely going to try to.
Well, we're looking forward to that for sure, and you're off to a fantastic start. No doubt you'll be the points leader heading out of tonight. Schlosser slipped down pretty far in the running order there. But fantastic stuff here tonight. Congrats on win number 8, and let's get some shout-outs for you before we let you go.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout-out to Josh Freed, Zach Lockett, 9th Venom Truck Series, and then you guys, Truck 200, for doing the broadcast. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, partner. Go celebrate the win. We'll hopefully talk to you again next week.
All right, man. Thanks, guys.
Ooh, baby. What a night here tonight. And, boy, you picked a great night to arrive in the booth here, Leo. What'd you make of all this?
I'm just thinking, how long is it going to take me to get to the liquor store? Mate, thank you so much for letting me sit in the booth with you all tonight. It was amazing. Great race to watch. Absolutely brilliant.
I'm glad you had a great time, Matt. You're back at the old home track, and this was a great race here tonight. What are your thoughts to close out the night?
Damn it, I tell you what, there's a lot of race car drivers that don't like this track just because it can be very, very difficult to navigate. But holy moly, did it put on a show for us here tonight. Big shout out to the guys in Venom that run every week. these are the types of races that they're capable of producing, and when they come, it's always a good one. So yeah, this was fantastic. Always love coming to this racetrack. It's a very unique racetrack compared to a lot of the others that we have here in the United States. So yeah, this was always a favorite of mine, and glad that it produced a phenomenal one for us here tonight. Thanks to everybody that was in the chat here with us. Limited crew, but some great ones out there. Zach Lockett, of course, cheering on his teammate Chad Stearns on the big dub, and congrats to Zach again on the in-season tournament championship. Stickers McQueen was here cheering on Rodney Matney. Axel Season, Jordan Jorno, Skibbity on Ohio, Bailey Marie Monachek, Robin Monachek, Lisa Kelly. Thank you guys for tuning into this one. I know that this was a great one for you, and we will see you guys later on this week.
Absolutely. Very interesting race on tap on Thursday night. Oh, go ahead, Leo. Well, yeah, we'll let you close out with some final thoughts here of the night.
Oh, final thought. I need a bourbon. Second thought. I think I'm gonna get sick more often. watch the race. Well, that's all I've got to say, guys, and thank you.
Well, we do hope to see you back out on track here soon. But it was a pleasure having you up here.
I think it's more fun in here with you guys.
Oh boy. I mean, you were spoiled with a night like tonight. It's
Yeah,
once in a blue moon.
Well, wait till we get Calder Thunderdome, the Australian NASCAR track done, then we'll go racing.
As I say, we'll have a full series here on the channel at the Thunderdome, and you could be up here every night for that one. But so yeah, what's on the docket here for the rest of the week here on Turn 200? A very interesting night on tap. Thursday night, the Max v CNC Home Design Truck Series from Martinsville. Good Lord, that is going to be a bloodbath. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. Friday night, it's Jumpy Trucks, the Special Stage Pro Truck Series from the Brands Hatch Rally Cross Course. That'll be 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time for that one. We are closing up shop on Monday night. It's the final ever Truck 200 race from Chicagoland, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. Come celebrate a very short-lived flagship series for this channel. And then we'll be back here. Well, I'll be back here next Tuesday night. We may have a special on-track appearance from somebody at the Bristol Dirt Track next Tuesday night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. No idea who that possibly could be, but we're staying here in Tennessee, conveniently where Matt Williamson used to live. So, yeah. Bristol Dirt, though, back, finally. Thank the Lord. Next Tuesday night, be here. You don't want to miss it. Well, that's all we got for you here tonight. Thanks to Leo Smith. Thanks to the GOAT, as always, Mr. Matt Williamson. Thank you to everybody with the Venom Truck Series. And until we meet again here from Nashville Super Speedway, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long and congrats to Chad Stearns on victory number 8 with the Venom Truck Series, his second of the season. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.